Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with episode 2 of 86. Not 2 out of 86, 2 of 86. That's actually kind of funny the way that you say it. But anyways, the last episode, we were introduced to this very interesting and intriguing world of 86 here, right? And, you know, initial impressions, I do like the fighting, I do like the music and all that, the sound design. And, well, I really want to see if the story's any good, right? You definitely have the feeling that there's going to be a lot of drama, potentially romance, don't know. All I can say right now is that Lena, our main character, is going to have quite a bit of work ahead of her, right? She's going to have to earn the trust of 86, which is not exactly going to be easy, considering, you know, everything that, that they've been through and how this world is currently structured and all that. I am really wanting to learn about the history of this world, though, and how things eventually became this way. So, with that being said, let's get right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yep, opening first. Alright. I know. Actually, we heard this last episode, right? As the ending to this. Ah, that that guitar there. That is so Hitorie. Oh, and I guess something I should have mentioned last episode as well, which is, you know, the original lead singer of Hitorie. Well, you know, R.I.P. That's all I can say. I guess this guy's the mechanic? Chief engineer, whatever you want to call it. I guess his entire, yeah, his entire mech, whatever you want to call it, is comprised of spare parts from others. Yep. You can consider those like dog tags, right? dog tags of his comrades. So again, I think I already pressed this question last episode. I already posed this question last episode. You know, how having a handler helps things? Question mark. Like if they were literally break out into battle right now and their handler wasn't here. Rain's coming. Yeah. Yeah, so like if there's this kind of attack right now and the handler's not there, then what will they do? Huh. So those are supposed to be like small machines. So again, what exactly is the role of the handler again? Okay, so I guess that... I'm actually thinking, maybe those were actually, you know, real animals and whatnot, and now was just saying that they were, you know, flying around because as a sort of reaction to military units coming through. Tank type. Electronic disruption machine. Nice. Right into the ambush. Oh. We actually got some background songs as well. By the way, whose idea was it to make these mechs like all arginate type and whatnot? Is that really more efficient than using wheels? Okay, no, this is definitely machines and whatnot. Huh. So I guess the entirety of it makes up jamming. So why are they able to get a bird? So I guess just the fact that they have bird's eye view makes them still kind of important in a way. Although they could just literally relay that information and call it a day. Oof. Dang. Are there actually anyone inside those, or are those true autonomous machines or remote controlled machines? Woof. I guess if they actually had wheels and whatnot, they couldn't like bounce around like this. Man. Uh, this almost reminded me of Attack on Titan in some ways, you know. Whoosha. Tactical retreat. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh. Now this is... Looking at her perspective as well. Oh. Oh, so they are autonomous. Oh, really? Huh. So that's why they say the war will be done in 2 years. Hmm. Interesting. Vastly superior autonomous units. Hmm. I think the end. Yeah, I think she's gonna be reprimanded for this, though. Elba. Yeah, I think the MP is gonna report this. You know, you could literally be shut down in just a second, Lena. I mean, I appreciate what you're doing, but this is not the time and place to do it, though. I guess because she comes from a big enough family. Then again, all protagonists need to be a little bit idealistic, right? Otherwise, they don't become the protagonists. Hmm? Hmm. What was that scene with the after action reports? That they looked exactly the same or something like that? Oh wait, we have the ending already? Okay. Looks like they're trying to do something after the ending song. Yeah, the sound design for this series is definitely one of the standout points, you know, and that includes the music for opening, ending, and the BGM, and of course the sounds of the battle. Hmm. I do wonder, like, what's the significance of those flowers here, hmm. Or the fact that flowers wilt. So, is that actually special? Wait, we're still on May 29th? Mm-hmm. Damn. 。 Alright, so at least they are... At least they are sort of communicating in some way. Alright, that went better than expected. Although with that kind of episode title for next one, we'll see. Alright, see you guys after this. Well now guys, that was actually quite the interesting episode. We got a ton of background information in regards to Republic, to 86, how this entire situation came to be, and well, it seems that Lena is actually getting along with her squad quite admirably, right? Or at least as far as we can tell. It's actually kind of ambiguous, to be honest, because that ending portion there where she was calling in once again, and you know, the back and forth that she has versus Shin there. You know, I think you can kind of tell that Shin is a little bit impressed by Lena, right? Thinking that she's definitely not the same as all the others, at least a little bit different, right? In terms of her tactics, her smarts, and the way that it seems that she cares about them in a way, right? Now, whether he accepts it or not, that's another story, and that's also the same for all the rest of the squad as well. When they were putting their hands to their ears and whatnot, I couldn't quite tell if they were getting exasperated by her and wanting to shut her off, or were they actually paying attention and wanted to hear her better, right? You can really view it in two different ways, and I do wonder if that is actually kind of intentional here, that they are trying to set up this sort of ambiguous situation for us viewers, so we're not really quite sure how exactly the situation is going, right? Is it going well, or is she actually still being shut out and being held under an aura of distrust here, right? But certainly we can see her efforts in regards to the entire thing, the discrimination against the 86, how the entire situation came to be, you know, to the point where she was willing to really even risk her life and, well, maybe not her life, maybe not that far, but at least her career, right, for something like this. You know, I definitely feel like trying to do it in that sort of manner isn't exactly the smartest way to go about things, but hey, if she really does feel that her status, her family, or whatnot is going to be able to keep her in this, even with all this kind of ruckus that she's kind of making, then more power to her, right? Although I do have a feeling it's probably going to come back to bite her in the ass sometime in the future, right? You can already see the development that will come from something like this. So, in regards to the entire situation here, I do find it quite interesting, right? First of all, I still have a big problem as to why the 86, right? Why all these other people who are not, what are they called? Elbas or something like that? You know, the ones with silver hair and whatnot. You know, the same race of people, I guess you could say. Like, why are they willing to listen to their orders, right? You know, well, certainly I don't know, we still don't know, like, the exact population levels, the, you know, how the situation came to be something like this, but, you know, if the entire fighting, efforts of the Republic actually falls onto the 86, what will happen if the 86 just goes, screw you take care of matters on your own, right? Like, what will happen then? It's not like the Republic has any people actually on the front lines enforcing anything, right? The only people on the front lines, as Lena said, are the 86. So what can they do here? Or is it more of a matter of they have no choice either? Because if we see the map, it seems that the Republic is actually completely enclosed by the Empire or something of that sort. So perhaps this is a situation where the 86 can't actually do anything but listen to or try to work together with the Republic. Otherwise, they don't really have anywhere else to go either. It's either like they're up against their backs are up against the wall, if you will. So it's either out there fighting the swarm, or, you know, if the Republic is shut off and, you know, completely blocking them out, I guess there's maybe no way for them to actually survive on that. So, you know, at the very least for right now, still accept the fact that, you know, they still have to fight for their lives and whatnot, and then maybe once the whole thing gets over, a revolution will start or something of that sort, right? Or there could, of course, be some other methods why the 86 are actually willing to listen to them. Like the internment camps that they were talking about, I do wonder if perhaps their families or whatnot are being held hostage, and so that is why they are being forced to fight for the Republic, right? I do feel that that's also a big question I do want answered, and hopefully they will touch on that subject as well. Because certainly in this episode, we kind of see the partnership between the handlers and the actual fighting squads, right? Although, to be honest, I'm still not entirely convinced there's any real use for this. I definitely feel like the handlers probably are, more than anything else, probably just there to provide surveillance on the actual soldiers and whatnot, to make sure they aren't doing any funny business, right? Similar to how within the classroom we see an MP there, we see military police there, not only to keep order, but perhaps also to control, you know, to control the propaganda and whatnot. It definitely kind of reeks of that kind of nature, that kind of situation here, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised if the actual duty of the handlers is actually to keep an eye on the unit and make sure they aren't going to do something rebellious or something of that sort. Because definitely from at this point, I still feel that the information they can provide is the input that can provide is limited, right? It would be far easier to just relay all information directly to the ones there, right? You know, give them tactical updates and then allow the people on the ground to make the best decisions that they can to counteract all of these different situations that they get themselves in, right? Especially in this case where we can clearly see that most of the handlers, right? I mean, technically, if we consider this within a normal sort of in a normal sort of command structure and whatnot, this is literally like, I don't know, like the captain or I guess in this case she is a major, right? So that kind of makes sense in a way. So the major is behind in HQ or something or whatnot and relaying information orders to the units on the ground. The units of the ground, of course, are the ones who execute it. Which no, I guess I guess in this kind of context, they're probably all enlisted soldiers, and you know, with any kind of rank hierarchy, maybe being that of, I don't know, a sergeant or a sergeant major or something of that sort. Or whereas in real life situations, it might be more so a lieutenant or captain. Actually, did they actually mention the ranks that they have? If they did, I kind of glossed over it. But yeah. The main point here is still that, you know, you definitely feel that the war can be won a bit more easily, right? If the 86 were allowed to do what they wanted to do, or I guess I should call them the Juggernaut units or whatnot, were allowed to do what they wanted to do instead, right? You know, and speaking of this entire, you know, 2-year expectancy and whatnot, I do have I don't know, the whole situation still seems kind of suspicious to me. Like, you definitely have this feeling that, maybe that this situation is not going to be over after 2 years. Maybe the machines have found a way to replicate themselves or whatnot. You know, they are having this situation here where it seems that it's AI gone rogue, right? In that kind of setting here. So I think it's also feasible that perhaps they actually find a way to replicate themselves, right? To build new units, and you know, reproduce or reproduce the mechanical structures or whatnot, and continue on with the war effort, right? And also the fact that the original empire was wiped out. I don't know. The original empire was wiped out, and yet the republic still somehow stands. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's still something quite fishy about this entire situation here. But yeah, anyways, it's kind of cool that they went through like the different classes of you know, the different kinds of mechs that were here, the different kinds of war machines, especially on the Empire side. You know, we got scouts, we got close range fighters, we got the heavy duty tanks, we got the long range artillery, and then we also have like electronic warfare type of situation here. So it's quite fun, and the fact that they are called a swarm and whatnot, using swarm tactics and so on and so forth, it definitely adds a bit more to the sci-fi aspect of everything, and I do love that, right? I think the last time machine versus man kind of situation, right? The thing that instantly pops up to me is Edge of Tomorrow, right? That one is man versus machine, right? Yeah. I mean, obviously there's Matrix and all that, but that doesn't really quite count because it's not exactly in a warfare kind of setting here. I mean, I'm sure there's more. It's just that none are coming to me right now. So, you know, it's just fun to think of what other kind of situations they can get themselves into. I definitely feel like with everything we've learned from this episode, though, the biggest threat would be if the machines actually found a way to build new machines, and so even after 2 years, the war would not be over, right? So, we got that. And in terms of the armaments and whatnot, I definitely feel like the Republic could do a better job of equipping their soldiers. Like, again, I mean, I know that they already made sufficiently clear they don't care about the lives of the soldiers or whatnot. But even so, you would at least want them to have an equal footing or equal fighting chance, right? I paused at the part where they were explaining the armaments of the Juggernauts, and man, when they say that the tanks on the Empire side are twice as powerful as the Juggernauts, they weren't kidding. Those things are pretty lightly armed considering what that they are the main fighting force of the Republic. They're really the guns that they have and whatnot really are just about half as powerful as a modern tank from our world, right? Like an M1 Abrams tank, something of that sort. It's definitely like less than half the power of that. Certainly it makes up for it in mobility and whatnot, but at the same time, I do still have many questions as to why they decided to instead create this type of fighting machine and then allow them to pilot this kind of fighting machine when, I don't know, does it really add that much advantage to more traditional, what we call heavy armor and whatnot? It's debatable, right? It's debatable. Or perhaps this world is completely different from our world, right? Maybe we can't exactly use the same kind of evolution, evolution of warfare, evolution of war machines case in this world, which, I mean, I think the answer, of course, is the easiest and most obvious one, and that is because it is cool. Simply because it is cool, it is different, and we get to see them, right, slinging around and doing all those cool combat stuff like Shin displayed in this episode, where he used two, I think they're called vibro blades or something of that sort, and slice through the enemy, right? Definitely that was hype, if, quite sci-fi-ish, which I think could be a plus, could be a minus, depending on which point of view you want to come from, right? But anyways, so we got the basics of this, we got the basic backstory, and next episode, we already see the next episode title, I Don't Want to Die. Is it going to be a situation where another casualty happens for the spearheads, and so on and so forth, or is it actually a case where Lena is going to be under duress, and maybe Shin's gonna do something to her or whatnot, right? You really can't tell at this moment here. But anyways, interesting development for sure. I do hope it develops more, and just this last episode, I think nothing has changed in regards to the, what I can call, fundamentals of this anime, where the sound is still absolutely stellar, the animation is great, and we're still continuing on with the story, see what exactly happens here, right? But at the very least, I do love that they have already started to provide a lot of this contextual information, and actually in a way that doesn't sound too unnatural and whatnot, right? I think it's quite genius to use like teaching history to the military cadets as a method of bringing the subject up, and at the same time also allowing us to understand Lena's position, and also allowing her to explain things, the truth behind everything here in a very natural and logical way here. So once again, with the first episode, it's really, it's really showing us this world in a very natural way, and I do love that. That points to good script writing here. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week as well. Bye bye.